The trial for XXXTentacion's passing has revealed every single thing that we wanted to know, such as who's responsible, what the suspects wanted from X, and much more. We also received never-before-seen footage of the rapper on the day of his passing as well. With XXXTentacion passing away on June 18, 2018, his trial didn't officially start until February 7th, 2023. And on the first day of the trial, it was announced that the main suspects are Michael Boatwright, Dedrick Williams, Trayvon Newsome, as well as Robert Allen. Everyone was aware these are the main suspects, as they have been arrested and sitting in jail now for roughly 5 years. But it was also weirdly announced in the courtroom that Toronto rapper Drake, as well as the Migos, could have played a role in the passing of X. The suspect's attorney in the courtroom had this to say about Drake on the first day of the trial.
Before X, he said, if anybody, it's Drake. And do you think that for one moment, here today, days after the event, two masked men, right? He came on social media and said, guys, if anybody, it's Drake. Do you think in that time span that they went and they addressed him, they talked to him? No. Do you think sitting here today, years later, any detective has ever asked, Drake or anybody like that? No, they never did that. So you ask yourself, how could that be? And you say, hey, it's so-and-so, you better believe so-and-so is going to get investigated. But in this case, they didn't do it. They didn't do it because it didn't comport with their version and their narrative. And as law enforcement, I think that they have the obligation to do so.
Leave a like on the video if you're a fan of XXXTentacion. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. Now, the defense attorney states, and I quote, XXXTentacion said, if I were to pass, then Drake did it. Now, this was during an Instagram live stream that X had many years ago, where he even posted a follow-up Instagram story stating, if anyone tries to get me, it was at Champagne Poppy, aka Drake. I'm snitching right now. Now, shortly after in the courtroom, after the defense attorney made his statement, this is where Robert Allen took the stand. One of the 4 suspects, he's being charged with the crime of X passing, but he has now turned into a snitch, as Robert Allen is now snitching on the other 3 suspects, sharing everything about XXXTentacion's passing that we didn't even know actually went down, as Robert Allen broke down how X passed and his perspective on the entire day from somebody that witnessed the entire incident from 10 feet away. Now, on June 18th, 2018, XXXTentacion's day starts with him hopping in his all-black custom BMW i8 and driving to Riva Motorsports. With X taking a look around, he finds a motorcycle he likes and gets told by a manager that there's a cash deal. If he was to purchase the motorcycle in cash, there is a discount. After hearing the news, X would then call his mother, saying, hey, I'm gonna be going out and buying a motorcycle, just a heads up. This is where his mom Cleo then responds saying, come pick up your uncle before you go so somebody drives your car back home. This is when XXXTentacion would drive back to his mansion, pick up his uncle before driving to the Bank of America. While at the Bank of America, XXXTentacion goes to withdraw $250,000 in cash, but he is later then declined by the bank teller. As this footage of X inside the Bank of America was released exclusively during the XXXTentacion trial. Now, during that video clip, the bank teller revealed that XXXTentacion wanted to withdraw $250,000, but she told X that the bank does not carry that kind of cash. She then handed him $50,000 and ordered the rest for a later date. With X putting the money in his bag, he then exits the Bank of America and starts walking back towards his BMW. While walking back, the 4 suspects that were sitting parked in their vehicle inside of the bank parking lot notice X's supercar car and begins a stakeout on it, trying to see who owns the vehicle. They then notice that it's famous rapper XXXTentacion, and they then follow his vehicle driving back to Riva Motorsports. With X driving back to Riva, he then puts his vehicle in park in the parking lot before walking back inside. While X is walking back into Riva, two of the suspects then follow him inside of Riva, keeping an eye on him from a distance, as well as making perfect eye contact with him. With two suspects now inside of Riva with X, the other two that are in the vehicle, they then park their vehicle across the street, that way no one notices their car or on the security camera. The two men that followed X inside of the store, they ended up buying the ski masks and gloves they used during the incident only 15 feet away from XXXTentacion. With X walking around Riva, something must have fell through with the cash deal, as X didn't have all of the money up front. It was revealed by Robert Allen during the X trial that the two men that were inside Riva following X, they wanted to know what was inside the Louis Vuitton bag, so they kept a perfect eye on X until it was time that he left, as the cash deal for the motorcycle must have fell through due to X not having the entire $250,000. Now this is when it would be time where XXXTentacion as well as his uncle then go and leave the motorcycle shop, him still wearing his Louis Vuitton bag with all of the cash in it. X and his uncle would then walk back to his vehicle, hopping inside, and this is where you see two of the suspects sprinting back to their Jeep that is parked across the street. With X then starting up his vehicle after a few minutes, he would then begin to drive out of the parking lot before quickly being stopped by the suspect's vehicle from across the street. With the suspect's car now blocking X into the parking lot, two of the suspects then hop out of their vehicle holding firearms, demanding X to roll his windows down and give up the bag of cash as well as his diamond chain. X would actually refuse this for a few minutes, making the men very angry. A small brawl then ends up being created through a small supercar window before XXXTentacion's uncle would then open up his passenger side door and start sprinting for the hills, leaving X all by himself. Not only did he leave X all by himself, but he now just created another opening for the suspect to get a different angle on X other than just through the passenger side window. One of the two suspects that are going after him through the window, they then sprint around the vehicle and they start going after X through the passenger side door, leaving X with two suspects after him, one on each side. With X still putting up a great defense against these men, the guy that was in the passenger side, he ends up just getting enough of it, and we all kind of know what happens after that. Now in the trial, it was exclusively reported, and I quote, "Prosecutor says Dedrick Williams was driving and cut off the car being driven by X. Michael Boatwright and Trayvon Newsom put the ski masks on and had the firearms. The passenger manages to run away, they approach X, and Boatwright does the act. Now the suspects did end up getting X's Louis V bag full of $50,000, but thankfully to Robert Allen, the man snitching against everyone in the case, he revealed everything, exactly even how they split the money. Now Michael Boatwright, Dedrick Williams, and Trayvon Newsom, those three suspects got $15,000 each. This means that Robert Allen, he was only given $5,000. Pretty interesting, the man paid the least amount of money is now the man snitching in the end, as this tweet was also shared which states, "Pictures taken after XXXTentacion's passing the exact same day shows defendant Michael Boatwright flashing a lot of cash. Defendant turns state, witness testifies that this is X's money, and these photos were taken hours after the incident." With these photos attached of the suspects flexing a few $1,000s worth of cash, thinking they're cool, yet they just wasted their entire lives over a couple months paycheck at McDonald's. Now shortly after Robert Allen, he would go and share the X's last words. Now this was a main talking point during the trial, as it just makes everything feel much more worse. So after the incident was done, Robert Allen then explained the two suspects hopped back in the vehicle and they would then drive away and try to just get out of the area. Now as shared even by DJ Academics, XXXTentacion's last words were, "What is this for?" making his passing feel even more upsetting, as he didn't even understand what was going on. Now the passing of XXXTentacion was met with sadness from his fans in the music industry. His music will continue to live on forever, and if you're a fan of his, leave a like on the video. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. It's been District Trending, and I'm out. Peace.